you go to my constituency right now, you will not see 5 meters of tarmac. Emerua Dikir. 5 meters of tarmac you cannot see in the Dadaab constituency. And there are many constituencies in the north who share the same thing. Children only hear about tarmac and they will look at them in the pictures, but they've never seen it. Adan was in primary school when I was a member of parliament.
Okay, go ahead.
No, he was in the university. He was in the university when I was a member of parliament here. If there are sufficient roads right now that go to all the corners of northeastern province, I can assure you the north is going to become the breadbasket of this country.
Honorable Farah Maalim.
The colonialists who come to our continent and our country came to move our resources for their own benefits. They came to take our fellow Africans as slaves in the Western Hemisphere and also in Europe. Many people do not know that Europe was also built with African slaves before even they went into the Americas. They did that for centuries. Then they came to colonize us, they did exactly the same thing. So for us, they had what they called the railway line. The railway line was basically to have a railway all the way from Mombasa to Uganda, which was a part of Africa at that time. Part of Africa at that time. And the idea was just to take those resources, agricultural and all other resources, and use us also as cheap labor. Mr. Speaker, expectation was that after we fought for our independence and won the independence, that the narrative would change and we'd have development that's geared towards developing. Speaker, can you protect me from Mamboka and Kibageni? They are consulting very loudly. So, and basically, we did exactly the same. We came up within a year of being independent ourselves. From 1964 is when we became a republic. And then 1965, we had the sessional paper number 10, which followed exactly the script of the white settlers and the white colonialists, which then concentrated again development on those areas that were supposed to be high potential areas. Mr. Speaker, that is why, although being in a level above that of in Malaysia, above that of Singapore, South Korea, Hong Kong, at the time of independence, today the economies are probably, each one of them, 50 times, 60 times, 80 times as powerful as our own economies. Because we failed to change the narrative and think global within our own country and begin utilizing our resources from one corner of the country to the other corner. That was also pretty much driven by the divide to rule political culture that was established by the colonialists. For the colonialists to be able to rule our countries in the manner they ruled, without that unified, and also to forestall the possibility of a unified African resistance to their own colonialism, they divided the people. They had tribal lands, trust, whatever. They literally divided our people along ethnicity. The new independent African countries also picked up the same narrative and ran with it and concentrated development within only certain selected, areas. And in the process also became the new overlords. I'm talking about the elite, the political elite.
You're in the same class with the Honorable Adan Kenan.
Who?
We're in the same class with him on this history class because...
Who is that? Who?
The Honorable Adan here.
Adan Kenan?
Yes.
No, Adan Kenan.
He was contributing on something on coffee yesterday, and he used the same words you used the last. So I don't know they're in the same class of history.
Adan was in primary school when I was a member of parliament.
Okay, go ahead.
No, he was in the university. He was in the university when I was a member of parliament here. So let me say that. But of course, everybody knows Adan is an avid debater and has done history also at the university and knows all these things. And I'm glad that we're thinking more or less in the same line. Now, we have a country today. We can't keep on lamenting on the past. If you do a proper road, you see the reason why we have all these accidents is because the elite in here would rather buy a piece of land in the same high potential area where the infrastructure is good than buy in far-flung places like Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, Marsabit, and the rest of it. So there is a congestion. Our psyche as Africans, as Kenyans, after independence also is on either you are going to Mombasa, because that's where the port is and that's where the beaches are and that's where, you know, the people who are affluent are putting up what they call resources and investing in land there, or you are going on this one that goes all the way to Uganda, or you are taking this one that goes all the way to Nanyuki. That's why the rest of the country itself is not being developed. And because there are too many of those vehicles and families going, somebody like me, I'll tell you, I mean, you look at these things and look at where is so-and-so's properties. You'll be surprised. There are many people from my area who are putting up farms in here, putting up farms in Rift Valley, putting up what they call properties in Mombasa and in Lamu and all those places, because those are the only areas they can easily access. Then there's a congestion. Then there's going to be, what do you call? The accidents. And then the same artery of moving from Mombasa by trucks, if a truck, 40-foot container cannot reach Entebbe, rather Kampala, in time, it's a problem. But when we open up this country, we put up ICDs, not ICDs on the way now where you put them in Naivasha and the rest of it, inland container depots. But you have an inland container depot in Garissa. You have an inland container depot in Isiolo. You have an inland container depot in Marakwet and all those places. Then the country is going to develop. The way to do that is to have this infrastructure perfectly in sync so that our country, we decongest Nairobi. Everybody has come to Nairobi. People are wondering why very, governors and rich people from Northeastern Province are not investing in Wajir and Mandera and Garissa. And you could understand, because there are no roads. For this person to go and visit his investments out there, he will take a week to go to Mandera or to go to Wajir, or fly. Because there are no tarmac roads. These tarmac roads are not there. You go to my constituency right now, you will not see 5 meters of tarmac. Emerua Dikir. 5 meters of tarmac you cannot see in the Dadaab constituency. And there are many constituencies in the north who share the same thing. Children only hear about tarmac and they will look at them in the pictures, but they've never seen it. They have to come to Garissa to see what a tarmac looks like. So this motion must be translated into a serious policy paper. And we're not just talking about what my dear sister said, that class A, B, and C. No, we're talking about all the roads. If there are sufficient roads right now that go to all the corners of Northeastern Province, I can assure you the north is going to become the breadbasket of this country. If we can do the same also in parts of Rift Valley, those places like Pokot and Samburu and Turkana and Rendille and our ethnic Cushitic brothers all the way to Marsabit, to Turbi, to what do you call them, all those deserts. Those places are going to become the center of attraction for tourists. If Nevada can be what it is right now, if you can go to, what do you call this place, which is I'm trying to remember this American city where they do a lot of work. Right in the center of the desert. In the center of the desert. It's one of the biggest economies you have in the U.S. In Nevada, but what was the name? San Diego. San Diego. I don't know whether it's in California or Nevada. So basically what we are saying is that we need to open up the country. Once the country opens up, industries will be put up in those places as an incentive. You incentivize industrialists who are going to come and invest in this country by telling them if you go to far-flung areas, you get a tax haven. You get a tax holiday. And that's the way we are going to decongest Nairobi and all this joblessness. We keep on talking about young men and women who cannot find jobs and who have got degrees. But imagine if the factories are there and industries are there and airports are there and the roads, you could move from one part of the country to the other country in a matter of hours. Then, of course, Speaker, can you allow me to have just 2 minutes? Oh, you don't?
2 more minutes.
1 minute.
I'll allow
please.
you 30 seconds.
Okay, a minute.
wind up.
Is, okay. No, you. Okay, okay. So, Mr. Speaker, this country needs to open up. I want to commend the government. We had a broad-based government. We had a coalition government sometimes back, and I was the deputy speaker that time. And we had a prime minister who came from my side of what you call there. But it's only in name, and as far as development is concerned. We did not translate that into serious revenue distribution in the country for purposes of development, so that every part of this country feels that it's part of this country. We're getting now a road all the way, tarmac road all the way to Mandera. We're getting a tarmac road all the way from Garissa to the border with Somalia in my constituency in a place called Liboye, Dadaab, Liboye, Harhar. When those ones open up...
Is that the one passing through Kotulo?
Eh?
Is that the one through Kotulo?
The one through Kotulo is the one that goes through Wajir, from Isiolo, Wajir, Mandera, all the way and all the way to, all the way to the border there. And then there's another one, which is an international road that goes all the way to Kismayu on the other end. And by the way, with all its imperfections and the fact that it's a failed state, Somalia...
Honorable Farah, there's interest from this, and I would... No. 30 seconds and you wind up totally.
That's, okay. Okay. And you see, if you take this to Kismayu, that becomes the great African road. They've already started also doing the road design from Kismayu all the way to the border with Kenya. You will decongest Nairobi. And then it's time we moved what you call the seat of the government from here and have a commercial capital, the way Lagos is the commercial capital, and another seat of the government the way Abuja is, the way Dodoma is, the way all these things are. So we need those infrastructure. Tanzania has got infrastructure on the four corners of the country. That's why the economy has overtaken us. Mr. Speaker, we need to...
Thank you. Well said, the member for Tinderet.